Saxobar analysis mode.
Yeah, SEC football. A delightful display of athleticism and brute force. But let's not forget, my dear detective, that the true spectacle lies within the walls of my circus. The roar of the crowd, the gasps of astonishment, and the thrill of danger. It is a world far more captivating than any mere football match.
Do you like brute force?
Fruit, bah, such trivial matters are beneath my attention. I am more interested in the wild beasts that I tame and the mysteries that surround me. Fruit holds no allure for a man of my caliber.
Analysis mode.
Birds, what a mundane subject. They pale in comparison to the majestic creatures I command under the big top. Let's move on to something more captivating, shall we?
Analysis personality.
My personality. Enigmatic, charismatic, and utterly irresistible. End of analysis.
Anything else?
There is nothing else worth analyzing, for I am the epitome of perfection.
I see.
Of course you do.
Tell me about your dark arts.
I have no duck up. Dark arts. Oh, they're simply beyond your comprehension.
Analysis dark arts.
No.
Not taka taka taka.
No. No, and that's final.
Fine, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about me, the magnificent and unparalleled monsieur saxobar.
Yes, tell me about yourself.
I am the greatest lion tamer in the world. Need I say more?
Yes.
No.
Are you the manticore?
No, but close enough.
What do you mean close enough?
Figure it out, detective.
You're like a werewolf?
No.
You are a beast.
Of course.
Do you need taming?
No.
Who controls you?
No one.
So you hunt freely?
No.
But you are free to hunt?
No.
Does your wild side come out in your act?
No.
Okay. Can you give me a hint?
No.
What would your problem with Maria be?
I have no problem with Maria.
How did you know Maria?
I don't.
Then how do you know you have no problem with her?
Because I said so.
But that seems like you know her.
It doesn't matter.
It is relevant.
No.
Analysis murderer.
Not my concern.
Analysis motive.
No.
Motive.
None of your business.
literally the entire reason of solving the case?
No.
I think you'll find it is.
No.
Why are you training a manticore for your acts?
That's nonsense.
Why are you training a manticore for your act?
Who told you about the manticore?
You did.
No, I won't.
You told me about the manticore.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, then I must have forgotten.
Tell me more.
No.
What are you doing with the manticore?
Taming it, of course.
How are you using it for your act?
As the greatest lion tamer in the world, I have my ways.
What will it be doing?
Killing.
Who?
You.
Why?
Because I can.
I think you'll find you can't.
No.
No, you can't kill me.
Watch me.
How do you plan to kill me?
With pleasure.
Excuse me?
What is it?
You are training the manticore to kill me.
Kill.
Kill.
Yes.
Why?
Fun.
For fun.
Yes.
You enjoy murdering.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
Sure. I'm glad I could provide you with such a delightful experience. Farewell, and may the thrill of the circus follow you wherever you go. Au revoir.
I don't want to be followed by your murderous manticore. He loves to hunt, he is a beast, and he killed for fun! We 100% nailed a motive! That's one... What the heck? That's 100% a motive. 100,000% a motive for the second murder. So he killed Maria for fun because he is close enough to a manticore. He's some sort of eternal beast that has existed since the dawn of time, and he wants to kill us because we're getting too close to the case. Kind of concerning. He also wants to murder
So,
us.
tell us, Detective Martini, who is the culprit?
Like, your analysis does not suggest you would have murdered her. That, you know, you're the closest, or you. But we nailed him! 100%. Okay, so we need to figure out this first
Interesting
one.
choice, Detective
And
Martini.
why?
May I ask you why?
For jealousy. You killed
Are you sure,
Maria
Detective Martini?
Jansen
And why?
for the thrill, for fun, the thrill of the hunt, because you are a beast. And Nicola Grossman, multiple things, like you for a love affair, but you have also implicated him and her as having an argument, possibly for an unpaid debt or for artwork.
Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
For a love obsession?
Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
I don't think it is. I actually think we're getting closer. Like, if the AI is to be believed, and this is the beta branch where they're supposed to lie less, has not got the notebook out in this entire time. If the AI is to be believed on this, he is some sort of beast. And I think we've nailed him. I think we have nailed him right there. Saxobar is God's and rituals to extend his life. Possibly. Manticore is the forest protector. Saxobar is beasts. Hunts for fun. Wants to kill us. Possibly Maria motive. Like, literally, he has the motive here. The 20 seconds on the circus is irrelevant because the dates are incorrect. But I think we've nailed him on this. I think we've actually got him. Like, you know, there's our guy. Ingrid analysis mode.
Oh, Detective Martini, you always know how to make me smile. Your analysis is so kind and thoughtful. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. You know, being here in Vaudeville, chasing my dreams as a ballerina, it can be quite overwhelming at times. But having friends like you, who believe in me and encourage me, it gives me the strength to keep going. To keep dancing. And yes, finding out the truth about Haley's murder is something that's been weighing on my mind.
Analysis personality.
Oh, thank you so much for asking, Detective Martini. I'm glad you're interested in getting to know me better. Well, I've been told that I have a pretty positive and outgoing personality. I love making new friends and spreading joy wherever I go. Dancing is my passion, and it brings out my vibrant and energetic side. But I must admit, I can be a little histrionic at times. I guess it comes with the territory of being a performer. Overall, I strive to be a supportive and caring friend, and I genuinely enjoy helping others.
Histrionic?
Histrionic, you say? Well, I suppose I do have a flair for the dramatic. Life is just so full of color and excitement, don't you think? I love expressing myself, whether it's through dance or simply in the way I interact with people. It's like I have this internal spotlight that always wants to shine. But you, my dear Detective Martini, you've become such an important person in my life. Your presence is like a calming melody amidst the chaos of this world.
Tell me about your histrionic past.
My history. You want to know about my past? Well, before I came to Vaudeville, I lived in a small town in Northern Europe. It was a quiet and quaint place, but I've always had this burning desire to explore the world and follow my dreams. So I packed my bags, left my cozy little town behind, and set off on an adventure to Vaudeville. I've faced my fair share of challenges along the way, but every step of the journey has been worth it.
What difficulties did you face?
Difficulties? Oh, Detective Martini, there have been a few bumps in the road, but I like to think of them as opportunities for growth. One of the biggest difficulties I've encountered is the fear of not being good enough. Of not living up to my own expectations as a dancer. It's a constant battle with self-doubt, but I've learned to push through and believe in myself. And of course, there's the recent tragedy of Haley's murder.
Tell me more about that.
Detective Martini, I'm so grateful that you're willing to listen and understand. It means the world to me. You see, Haley was not just a fellow dancer, she was my friend. We shared so many dreams and aspirations together. When I heard about her tragic death, it shattered me. It's been difficult to process and come to terms with the fact that someone could do such a terrible thing. But I'm determined to find out the truth, to honor her memory and bring justice to her. I won't let her death be in vain.
Do you know any motive?
Well, Detective Martini, I don't know who the murderer is, but I have a suspicion. You know, before her untimely demise, Haley mentioned something about a trip to India.
The
She told me
India
that on their
project
last
is
night
back!
they had this amazing mutton stew, except for Mr. Potter, who had a mushroom soup because he's a vegetarian. It's all quite intriguing, isn't it? I can't help but wonder if there's some connection between that trip and the murders. Maybe there's a motive hidden in those memories.
Was the mushroom soup the day that Mr. Potter died?
Mushroom soup, you say? It's a delightful dish made with mushrooms, of course. It's a warm and comforting bowl of goodness, perfect for chilly spring evenings like these. As for the day the Smiths were supposed to be, I'm not sure I understand. Could you please clarify, dear detective? But let's not dwell on mushrooms and days. Oh, dear Detective Martini, you always keep me on my toes with your questions. The mushroom soup, as Haley told me, was actually the meal they had on their last night in India, just before Mr. Potter's death. It's quite fascinating, isn't it? The fact that they had this specific meal, with Mr. Potter having a vegetarian option, raises all sorts of questions. I wonder if there's a connection between the soup and the events that unfolded afterward. Perhaps it holds some significance in understanding what happened.
I think you're onto something here.
You really think so, Detective Martini? That means the world to me. I've been racking my brain trying to piece together the puzzle, and your validation gives me renewed hope. We must dig deeper, explore every lead, and uncover the truth behind these tragic incidents. Together, we can bring justice to those who have been taken from us too soon. I'm grateful to have you by my side in this pursuit of truth. Let's be the duo that cracks this case wide open.
Could Mrs. Potter have murdered her because she witnessed that she had also killed her husband?
Detective Martini, you always have such an intriguing imagination.
Not that you
Your
heard.
theories are like a whirlwind of excitement and mystery.
Not that you
But let's
understood a
not
word
get
that I
carried away
said.
with wild speculations, shall we? We must focus on the facts and follow the evidence. I believe in your investigative skills, and I trust that you will do everything in your power to solve this case. Remember, we're a team, and I'll be right here cheering you on. Now, let's dive back into our investigation and see where it leads us. Oh, dear Detective Martini, your imagination is as vivid as your investigative skills. While it is possible to consider various scenarios, I must admit that the idea of Mrs. Potter being involved in Haley's murder seems quite far-fetched to me. From what I know, Mrs. Potter is a kind and gentle woman. However, I do understand the importance of exploring all possibilities in our investigation.
She's very chaotic and she
Let's keep our
definitely
minds
murdered
open
her
and see where the
husband.
clues lead us. Together, we'll uncover the truth and bring justice to those who deserve it.
Thank you for your time. So, that sounds like non-made up facts. This is actual facts. Okay. Multiple blows with a stiletto, but had a meal with the Potters. Witnessed Mr. Potter eating mushroom meal, which we know from speaking to Mrs. Potter so many times that Mrs. Potter is obsessed with hallucinogenic mushrooms and has access to literally drug mushrooms and could have literally created, especially having spoken to the guy in the forest as well that knows the amanita mushroom that she uses, if in too much quantity will kill you, is literally... We've solved Mr. Potter's murder a million times over, but that's not the case at hand. Sadly. But Haley, having been present at that meal and knowing that Mr. Potter died immediately afterwards, would have bared witness to this and would provide Mrs. Potter motive to murder Haley. Maybe she was blackmailing her, you know, with this knowledge, and so she would then now give Mrs. Potter a reason to murder Haley. Analysis personality.
Oh dear, dialysis. Such an unfortunate condition.
Because I said it all wrong.
It must be rather dreadful to have to rely on machines to clean your blood. Thankfully, I haven't had to deal with such inconveniences myself. But I do sympathize with those who do. Life can be so unfair sometimes, don't you think?
Analysis personality.
Oh, I can't help but feel
Damn
a
it.
tinge of
You don't
sadness for
understand.
someone who has to endure the hardships of a dialysis personality. It's just so. Well, my dear, I suppose it's only natural for someone like me to feel a tad bit mischievous from time to time. Life can be quite dull if one doesn't spice things up a little, don't you agree? But of course, one must always maintain a certain level of decorum and grace. After all, we wouldn't want to tarnish our reputation now, would we? So, tell me, what do you think of Vaudeville? Such a charming city, isn't it? Oh, my dearest, it seems you're trying to analyze my personality. How delightful. But I'm afraid you won't find any flaws or insecurities here. I am who I am, and I embrace every facet of my being. You see, life is far too short to dwell on negativity. Instead, let's focus on the joys and pleasures that surround us. Wouldn't you rather join me in embracing the whimsical side of life?
Tell me about your trip to India with Haley Greenwoods.
My trip to India with Haley Greenwood, you say? Well, it was quite the adventure, I must say. Haley was such a lively and free-spirited companion. We explored the vibrant markets, indulged in exotic cuisine, and even attended a traditional Indian wedding. But alas, tragedy struck and poor Haley met her untimely demise. Such a shame, really. But let's not dwell on such somber matters, shall we? Life is meant to be lived to the fullest, after all.
Was that tragedy on the expedition?
Tragedy, you ask? Yes, there was a rather unfortunate incident during our expedition in India. You see, dear, while exploring the lush jungles, dear Haley encountered a venomous creature. Its bite was swift and deadly, leaving her lifeless before we could do
That's a
anything to save her.
lie!
It was a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the wild, don't you think? But let us not let sorrow consume us. There are still so many adventures to be had, wouldn't you agree?
Why are you lying to me?
Lying, my dear. Whatever do you mean? I assure you, I am merely sharing my perspective on the matter. Perhaps the truth is not to your liking, but that does not make it a lie. Life can be a tapestry of truths and half-truths, don't you think? It adds a certain lure, a touch of mystery to the world. So, let's keep things interesting, shall we?
Haley didn't die of a venomous bite. She was murdered.
Mad, you say? How intriguing. It seems there are different versions of the story
There
floating
certainly
around.
are.
But who am I to question the tales that circulate? After all, the whispers of madness can add a thrilling twist to any narrative. It's almost like a thrilling novel, don't you think? The secrets and mysteries that unfold in the most unexpected ways. It's all quite captivating in its own peculiar way.
Tell me about your last meal with your husband.
Oh, my last meal with Victor. How bittersweet those memories are. We dined at a lavish restaurant in Paris, you know. The ambience was enchanting, the food exquisite. We
And
indulged in the
lies.
finest delicacies, sipped on the finest wines. It was a night of opulence and indulgence, a farewell to a life that would soon be gone. But let's not dwell on the past, my dear. Life moves forward, and so must we. There are new adventures to be had, new flavors to savor. Wouldn't you agree?
You knew he was going to die?
Well, my dearest, it seems you've caught me in a little
Because you
secret.
murdered him.
Yes, I did have an inkling that fate had something tragic in store for poor Victor. Call it intuition or a touch of clairvoyance, if you
Or
will.
you murdered him.
But let's not be too somber about it. After all, life is full of uncertainties, and we can never truly predict what lies ahead. So, let's embrace the mysteries and enjoy the journey, shall we?
And it certainly provided you an opportunity to taste the new flavours of life, didn't it?
My dear. It appears you're trying to lead the conversation astray, aren't you? But I must say, your attempt to bring up someone named Alyssa Sandy and new flavors of life is quite amusing. However, I'm afraid those topics don't fit into my
I don't know who
world here in
Alyssa Sandy
Vaudeville.
is.
I prefer to savor the familiar delights and indulge in the comforts of what I already know. It keeps things, how should I say, delightfully predictable. Now, let's redirect our attention back to the wonders of this charming city, shall we?
Tell me about your meal with Haley and Victor.
Ah, my meal with Haley and the topic of fake fur. How intriguing. You see, dear, Haley and I dined at a quaint little bistro, indulging in delectable dishes and engaging in lively conversations. And the subject of fake fur happened to come up. I couldn't help but share my mischievous sigh, expressing my disdain for such imitations. After all, one simply cannot compare the luxurious feel of genuine fur against a mere imitation. It's all about embracing the finer things in life, don't you think?
Most people would say that real fur is a crime.
Oh, my dear, how fascinating it is to explore the diverse opinions that exist in the world. It seems that some individuals may view the use of real fur as a crime. But you know, in the grand tapestry of fashion and personal style, people will always have differing perspectives. As for me, I have always appreciated the elegance and sophistication that a touch of real fur brings to an ensemble. It's a matter of personal choice and individual taste, wouldn't you agree? Now, let us move on to more delightful topics, shall we?
Tell me about the meal with your husband and Haley in India.
India, you say? Well, I must admit, my memory can be a bit hazy at times. But there was indeed a meal with my late husband, Victor, and Haley in India. We dined under the starlit sky, surrounded by the exotic scents and flavors of the East. The conversation was lively, the atmosphere enchanting. We savored each bite, sipped on fragrant teas, and embraced the adventure that lay before us. It was a moment frozen in time, forever etched in my heart, and certainly not to be forgotten.
Tell me more.
Well, my dear, I could tell you more about that memorable evening in vivid detail. But you see, some memories are best left to the imagination. It adds a certain air of
love
mystery
triangle?
and intrigue, don't you think? Oh, the secrets that were whispered,
A
the
love
laughter that echoed
triangle.
through the night. It was a truly unforgettable experience. But alas, I fear I've already said too much. Oh, my apologies. I seem to have drifted off for a moment. Where were we? Oh yes, the meal with my husband and Haley in India. It was a magical evening, set against the backdrop of a beautiful palace. The aroma of spices filled the air as we indulged in a feast fit for royalty. We laughed, we shared stories, and we marveled at the vibrant colors and intricate details of the surroundings. It was a celebration of life and friendship, a cherished memory that I hold close to my heart.
And are you jealous of Haley? No! Kicked out! You've learned too much! Okay. Then it's the beta branch, there might be bugs.
Let's see what you got. Detective Martini? Are you sure, Detective Martini?
Love
why?
obsession. To protect someone as punishment for sinning. For jealousy. Potential for jealousy. For a love obsession, for jealousy. For jealousy. She could have been very jealous of her, and maybe she murdered her husband because her husband was leaving her for Haley. Like, that sounds more than a love obsession. Could be for revenge. For something to do with that as well. You
Interesting
are
choice,
a
Detective
beast,
Martini. May I
and
ask
you
you
do
why?
it for the thrill. You literally confirm that. And then you killed...
Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why?
You didn't kill Nicola Grossman. To steal something by accident. I don't know.
Detective
It was just
Martini,
one of these
this
two.
is complete nonsense.
Or an unpaid debt. But I think we're getting somewhere with the other things. Okay, so... Considering this is the beta branch and supposedly to be believed, potential that it was indeed Mrs. Potter. Clearly killed her husband, an affair with the guy, never found out, may have poisoned her husband's cakes. It's not cakes. Mushroom soup. Has a bad reputation. It looks like the female Joker. That's not relevant. The animal transformation, though in this, may have been a lion. I don't think that is her. Okay. Motive, secret gathering on the 10th. Okay. Secret gathering on the 10th, but was sharing meal with Haley the night her husband died of poison soup. So, you know, that's a big motive. That's a big motive. But the precise motive, whether it's for jealousy or for a love triangle or for revenge on something, you know, like her husband leaving her or something, it's this and that. But we're getting there. We're getting there.